Good morning, good morning. Sawadee Kap, Sawadee Tan Chow, everybody. Little impromptu video today. Hopefully everything is working. Hopefully some people will come in. I know this is impromptu and, what can I say? I got an idea in my head and I felt the need to talk about it a little bit. Actually, this is an old topic that I found looking through some of my videos. Thailand used to be better, and this video was done how long ago now? Somewhere, let's see here. Let's see here, 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I made a video called Thailand used to be better, and some people disagreed with me. But then, if you don't know how it was in the past, then obviously, you still might think things are great. And they are great. I just think in certain areas, Thailand has lagged behind. And in other areas, they've done fantastically. So this is not a bash Thailand stream, but it is something that we can talk about, hopefully. And before I get going here, 32.71 baht to the dollar. Right now it's 80 degrees, high of 95, low of 73. The feel like temperature is 83, 66% humidity, and the air quality is 181, which is unhealthy. It's horrible. Visibility is the same as yesterday or the other day, 22 kilometers, about 14 miles. Winds south, winds southerly 3 kilometers an hour, so there's not much wind going on. But all in all, it looks like the weather is nice, but you just can't tell about the air quality unless you go out and you start breathing, and then you kind of know. So maybe the masks aren't a bad thing just because of the pollution, Now, before we get going, consider giving the video, the stream, whatever you want to call it, the channel a thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you to those who have tuned in. Please look down below. Everything you need to know is down in the description, including how to contact me and social media and all that kind of stuff. Now, let me get to some quick news before I talk about this subject, because there are a few things that we can talk about. Very right off the top of the bat, I noticed that I saw an article about a woman who impersonated a male love interest online. She pretended to be a he, and she extorted money from her prey, from her victim, because she got the person to send nudes. So let me just read this real quick, what I've got written up here. A Singaporean woman has been sentenced to 4 months in jail for cheating and criminal intimidation after posing online as a man named Leon Ho Kai Jun. Janelle Pang Minchuan, 23, used a male profile picture and a voice-changing app to deceive the victim, a 24-year-old woman, into thinking she was a man. Pang induced the victim to send money, gifts, and naked material, which he later used to threaten to distribute online. The victim incurred a total monetary loss of $4,705.64 Singaporean, and had to rely on family for financial assistance. These kind of situations are never good, but that's why I always say be careful. Especially, it doesn't matter if it's here or wherever. If it's online, like, don't give too much of yourself. Pang first befriended the victim on a dating app and spoke with her daily over the course of several months, manipulating the victim into a romantic relationship and pressuring her to send money, gifts, and naked material. Despite promising to meet the victim in person, Pang never fulfilled that promise and continued to deceive and manipulate her. Eventually, the victim reported Pang to the police, who arrested her at her home. For cheating, how is that cheating? Pang faced a maximum sentence of 3 years with a fine, and for criminal intimidation, she faced up to 2 years with a fine. The identity of the victim is protected by a gag order. So, I know that the vast majority of people that watch this channel are guys. Be careful if you're doing the online thing. Good morning, everybody. Sawadee Kap, Sawadee Ton Chow. Be careful. It pays to be careful. You know, I mean, if they're not going to meet with you, I don't know. I understand that things have been different because of the last 3 years, which I'm not going to get into, but even so, why not meet the person, get to know them, get into a relationship with them, a full-on relationship, before you ever decide to give anything in depth. That's why it takes time to fall in love. It takes time to be in a position where you really, and even then you're not 100% confident, to where you could maybe give gifts, money, whatever you want to give. You know, you want her to be, you want to have a sugar baby, a sugar mama, a sugar daddy, whatever it is. It just pays to take time. All right, I don't want to get into this too much because we all know, but not everybody abides by the code that you should abide by, and really you should. On this one, you should listen to me. Now, this case of the Taiwanese woman, it just doesn't want to die, and I find it kind of hilarious that Thailand went up in the corruption perceptions index. It improved in last year's perception index. It went up 9 places from 110 to 101 out of 180 countries. So what does that tell you right there? Let me fix this here. I just don't feel like streaming in my my office today, so I'm at the kitchen table. Like I said, it went up 9 places, and here we are. I mean, I'm hearing about corruption so many times now in the news and reading in the news and hearing things from other people. I don't know how they improved, because corruption is a major problem here. And like I've always said, if corruption is helping you, then nobody says anything. But if it's working against you, then people are going to speak. And there was a press conference yesterday down on Sukhumvit Soi 24 with the former politician and massage parlor tycoon Chuwit Kamonwisit. And I don't know why he felt the need to hold a press conference, but a Singaporean man who was the male who was traveling with the Taiwanese actress, he's the one who paid the police, apparently, allegedly, even though I believe it's a done deal now. Chuwit stated that the incident was not bribery but extortion, and requested that the police arrive at the hotel to question the witness within 3 p.m. He warned that if the investigators failed to show up, he would send the witness back to Singapore due to safety concerns. This is a big deal here right now. The witness claims that on January 4th, while traveling on Ratchathaphisek Road, their taxi was stopped by police officers for security search and a visa issue. Police demanded a fine of 27,000 baht for 3 illegal vaping devices the witness had purchased in Thailand without realizing they were prohibited. Well, unfortunately, ignorance is does not mean anything when it comes to the law. The witness claimed that the police threatened to jail him if he refused to pay the fine and took a photo of him with the devices at the checkpoint. Okay, well then it's okay. I guess it's time to go to jail. The witness's testimony is crucial to the investigation as he claims to have handed over money to the police at the checkpoint. Jewett asked the police to bring photos of all officers manning the checkpoint on that day for the witness to identify. Now, like I said, this is getting to be a big deal. And you've got these people who are stating that, you know, corruption is better. You got this perception that, oh, it's better now. It's getting better. But there's case after case after case. There's the Chinese person who was escorted. Apparently, they paid for a police escort. There's all kinds of things, and you hear about it all the time. And all it takes is a major case like this to put some people off, and it's unfortunate. Now, in Pattaya, there's a new police chief, which I didn't know about until yesterday. He has stated that his priority is to ensure the safety of both tourists and residents in Pattaya, which he described as a world-class destination. Would you consider Pattaya a world-class destination? I would say yes, you would. He expressed his eagerness to fulfill his duty and maintain the city's positive image. Thanapong also shared his plans to lead and maintain discipline among the 400 police officers at the station. He assured that all officers were motivated to go above and beyond in serving the community. You know, it's great that he's saying these things, but, you know, at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words. I'm not doubting him, but I think there are people that may doubt what he's saying. You know, they just roll their eyes. Despite the new responsibilities, Thanapong was not nervous about leading the Pattaya police force. He has a long-standing connection with the area, having served in various roles and being a resident for many years. He views the police station as his old home. In conclusion, Thanapong's appointment as the police chief of the Pattaya police station was marked by warm welcomes and a commitment to prioritize the safety and security of tourists and residents in the city. Well, let's hope that that's the case for all the people in Pattaya. I really hope that it is true. And I would like to see you know, I don't think corruption's a good thing. That's what I'll say. However, it's so entrenched in the culture here that it's going to be very difficult to eliminate it. What is this here now? Where can we look up this info? Sounds like a great resource. Info. Go to my website, americaninbangkok.com, where I have these articles and many more, and I'm working on it and working on my channel and my website. My website's coming along. There are a few things more I need to do, like add some of the links and transfer the information. But I think the website is coming along nicely, and there'll be news, there'll be information, there'll be tips, there'll be all kind of things on the website. So give it a look. Like I said, it's coming along. I'm trying to figure some things out, but all in due time, and it should be a really good site by the time it's finished. I've never been proud of my older site. I mean, you know, it has the information on there. It had the information on it. It wasn't the best site. And I don't know if this is the best site or anything like that, but it could be something that at least I'll be proud of. So, and for me, that says a lot because I don't get proud of my stuff very easily, to be honest. I'll say good morning one more time. Good morning to everybody. Sawati Tan Chao, Sawati Cup. But let me get to the subject at hand, which is Thailand used to be better. And the reason that I'm talking about this now is because I did a video about this a while ago, and it came from let me do something real quick here. Hang on. Yeah, that's better. This video that I did, it was about 6 years ago. And I said Thailand used to be better. Now, I know what Thailand used to be like 30 years ago, and I know from other people what it used to be like 40 years ago. And while there are many, listen, if you're a party animal and you come here just for a holiday, you want to come, hit the beach and hit the go-go's and chase all the girls and go into the, wherever it is, whether it be a massage parlor or beer bar or whatever, it was better in the past. Far better, far cheaper, okay? But let me just say that straight away. But, Thailand is known for many things: the culture, the friendly people, the beaches, the cities are bustling. Some of the common areas of decline in the past few years: one is the environment, the environmental degradation. Two, and I'm just going to get these real quick, over-tourism in popular destinations leading to overcrowding and damage to infrastructure and the environment. Increased crime rates in tourism areas, making visitors feel unsafe. Political instability, rising cost of living, making it increasingly difficult for locals to make ends meet. Corruption and unethical business practices causing a loss of trust in the government and businesses. Decline in the quality of education, leading to a shortage of skilled workers in some industries. There is a labor shortage right now in Thailand going on. And, that ought to tell you something. But let me do that. I don't like this. I don't like this thing behind me, but there's nothing I can do about it. And we don't plan on living here forever, which is another thing we're working on right now, and I've talked about this lately, but let me see here. Some positive comments. They have reassigned a number of people who were found to have engaged in activities that were corrupt. Good morning, Michael. Dowlow, how you doing? What's happening, Dowlow? Did you get those? You should have got those line apps or the line profiles. You should have got them the other day there, Dowlow. If you didn't, let me know, and I will make sure that you do get them. Let me go on here now, because I got my own things from this old video. And I wanted to talk about it because while some of the things definitely are a problem, and I think in many ways Thailand used to be better, but I also think that there are many ways, and I hate to sit on the fence, but Thailand has gotten much better in many other ways, okay? Thailand used to be less mainstream. Now it's done to death. It's almost to the point where it's overkill. And I'm not even talking about YouTube or any of that other stuff. Because social media, not only that, and this is their number one industry, tourism. So if this is the industry that you are relying on to generate revenue, you want to get the most revenue as possible. Well, what that means is more and more tourists. Now, obviously, the last few years have been something unique, and probably won't happen, hopefully won't happen ever again in my lifetime. So the number of tourists have dwindled. However, I've read various reports that the Thai government and various organizations, banks, have been saying how they're predicting that in 2023 there will be somewhere between 23 and 30 million tourists. Now that's 3/4. If they get 30 million, that's 3/4 of their highest number of tourists ever. they are aiming higher than that. They want to beat that number. Now, if they beat it and they get 50 million, that's an extra 10 million tourists a year if they can hit 50 million. When does it become too much? And see, when I first came here, it wasn't too much. There was a time when you could go down the street and people would, oh, wow, farang, oh, wow. You'd go to I remember when I first came here, and I was still traveling back and forth. I hadn't even moved here. And I went to Sisaket once. You don't want to know why, but I went to Sisaket once. And I was I had a little hotel in the city, and I was walking around, and I went into a market. And now you go into a market and people might kind of chuckle, oh, a foreigner. But before it would be like people would stare at you and they'd want to know all about you. And I mean, they still do somewhat, but nowhere near as much as they used to. It used to be much, much different. And it used to be, it was very genuine. And I'm not saying that it's not genuine now, but the people were, especially in the tourist areas, were less jaded. The women were less jaded, if you know what I mean. And so these are things that, we are no longer, and as foreigners here, we are no longer an anomaly. We're not special. Not that we ever were, but we were just somebody who was different. And that made us, in a sense, special because they wanted to know all about us. People wanted to know our life story or whatever it was. Now, there is much less privacy, and something else that people don't think about, and a lot of people don't even know, is that back in the day, the bars used to be open. They used to be open all night, pretty much. I mean, some of the go-go's and things like that would close at 2. Sometimes they'd close at 4. But some of the places would close at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, Tarme used to be open till 6 or 7 in the morning, and everybody used to go there. Okay, Dallo, good. I'm glad you got that. I didn't think you did, but and so if you're going out and you want to stay out all night, I mean, listen, let's face it, guys go out, and it used to be people didn't go out until 11 o'clock sometimes. They'd be sitting in some pub. And then at 10, 11 o'clock, midnight, they'd go to some disco. That's what they would call discos, or, some club or something like that. And the place would stay open until 4 o'clock, and then people would mill around. I mean, even like in Phuket, Pattaya, of course they did the same thing. I used to live in Phuket, and there was a place at the end of the street, I don't remember the name of it, at the end of Soi Bangla, and that place used to be open late at night, and they sometimes would just, they would turn off the music, and people would just be milling around, and it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. As long as people were buying booze, they would stay open. So there's a couple of things right there. Now, I don't believe there were any tour groups like there are tour groups now. And I'm speaking specifically of Chinese tour groups. And the Chinese will be coming back. February 6th is when the tour groups start coming back. They've already started coming back individually. And I'm not, even though I don't particularly like the Chinese government, I am not singling them out. They just happen to be the group of the moment, well, or for the last couple of years. And there is a large number of them that are going to come, and I don't know how that's going to, how the Thai people are going to fare and how the other tourists are going to fare. Not because they happen to be Chinese, which can create a problem because of the language barrier and various other reasons, but because of the numbers. The sheer numbers of them may put other people off from coming. And then, of course, the traffic and pollution, I've talked about that in depth. Like pollution today, as high as it is right now, I can't. Today I have no real reason for going out and going anywhere. I'm not going and filming anything. I'm not going photographing anything. I don't need to go to the grocery. I don't. The Starbucks is shut down, so I don't need to go there. I have no errands to run, so I'll be staying at home. And I don't want to go out in the city because of the traffic, and also because of the pollution, because it is just ridiculously bad. And they need to do something about that. This is the thing. Environmentally, this country has suffered in the past decade. But on the other hand, weed is now legal here. I think that's a good thing. That should cut down the number of prisoners in the Thai system, the Thai prison system. Good morning, Gennaro. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And it also should reduce some of the overcrowding. Now they got to work on the Yaba problem here, and that is a major problem. Every once in a while, every so often, you see some video of a guy doing something extremely crazy, and he's on the Yaba, you know. So, you know, that's another issue that they need to deal with. But the weed, I do think on the whole it's a good thing. And I don't think that anybody should be locked up, and certainly not locked up for life or anything like that. I mean, it's just, to me, that's, even for a, you know, I mean, there's places still in the United States that if you have a joint, they'll lock you up. Now, something else that people don't talk about much is the prostitution here. Well, I know we talk about the prostitution, but that the prostitutes have been on their own basically all since the beginning. Since they've started and it's become mainstream, and it's become a thing where they have all the beer bars like in Pattaya and the Go-Go's and everything like that, all around the country. They're on their own. I mean, it's a joke. Really, it's a joke. And there are organizations and women who are, I'm sure there's men as well, who are advocating for them to be better protected. And I think that that is going to happen in the future. Now, inflation here is in many ways out of control. I was just talking to someone yesterday. He was telling me about a place that does haircuts. And they used to charge 500 baht. Now, for somebody like me, I don't need some serious haircut. I don't have to go and get, you know, my hair feathered and trimmed and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it's very easy. I mean, I just go down to the local barber if I want to get them to cut it. I got my own shears now. I've had them for a long time. I just cut it myself. And then I have Alex check me out, make sure I don't have any hair sticking out all over the place. But what I've noticed is that the prices have just they've just gone up dramatically. It used to be, I mean, when I first came here, I was getting haircuts for 40 or 50 baht. 50 baht was kind of regular. Then it went up to 60, then it went up to 70. 70 baht. It stuck at 70 baht for quite some time. But about 5 years ago, it was still at 70 baht. Now, it's gone up to 100 baht. That is the norm. And I see places all over the place. I see shops all over the place where it's 120 baht. So think about this. In 5 years, the price has gone from 70 to 120 baht. Gennaro. Anyway, so that's 50 baht in 5 years. That's 10 baht a year. That's about 15% a year. That's crazy. What is that? What does that work out to? Like 13% a year. That's just crazy. So that's just one small instance. Now, there was a place that I was just talking about. I talked to somebody This was a supposedly a little higher end a barbershop where they catered to foreigners and to expats. Now this 500 baht is a fair bit, but you know, if you go into the mall or somewhere like that, okay, the price is going to be, it's not going to be, you're not going to be getting 70 baht, you're not going to be getting 100 baht or 120 baht. And so it's 500 baht at this place. And then the next thing you know, there's a notice put out that says, because of the past few years, meaning that business has been slow, we are unfortunately going to have to raise our rate to 800 baht. Now, 3 years, 300 baht. That's 20%, about 20% a year. I'm just rounding up in my head. That's a lot. I don't know where it's justified. And it's like I say, hey, I've got a t-shirt. It's 25 bucks, 26 bucks. Now I want to charge 75. I see these t-shirts out there, some of the higher end t-shirts. I'm talking about designer t-shirts. They're $500, $1,000. And I'm like, how great is that material? How long is that going to last? Is it worth the money? Is it justifiable? Well, maybe because of the brand. If you speak to somebody who works with the company, they may say, yes, it is, because our brand is so strong, everybody wants it, and we don't want all the poor people to have our t-shirt. But it gives you an idea, and I just came across another video. I was looking around through some old videos of mine, and I came across, and I've got some grocery videos where I go over all my groceries and what does 100 bucks buy, what does 10 bucks buy, that kind of thing. So I thought, oh, well, maybe what I need to do is I need to do another one of those and do a a comparative video. Because I know that the grocery store prices have gone up. I've already said this. The eggs have gone up. Although I could still get 10 eggs for 50 baht. I could get them for 40, but they're smaller, and sometimes you'll get a rotten egg here and there. And my wife has told me, stop buying from that place because it's not worth it. So I've stopped. So inflation is something else. And, you know, that happens everywhere, but it seems to be happening here a lot more. And I think it's, you know, okay, it's easy to say, oh, the poor expats. Oh, it's so much more expensive now, and the baht is stronger, and we're all suffering here. But what about the Thai people? Now, that said, I see plenty of Thai people go into a place like Starbucks, where that is a premium coffee, supposedly. How do they afford this? Some people are making decent money, and they can easily afford it. Some people are, you know, they're doing the 2-for-1 thing with their friend or whatever it might be. But you know, you can easily say, oh, yeah, Thailand was so much better back in the day. Now, if you're talking about the bar scene and everything, yeah, without a doubt, it was better. Much better. But if you're talking about some other things like medical care, medical tourism, transportation, the transportation system, the internet is much, much better than it used to be. It's pretty much better everywhere. Not everywhere, but almost everywhere. So, you know. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. I mean, what's this say? Prices are outrageous, yes. The ugly girls are wanting 3,000. 5 years ago, it was in 1,000. When was it 50 baht to the dollar? I think it was 95 or 97. 97 maybe. 97, 98. It was 54 and some change to the dollar, and I was loving it. But of course, immediately the Thais raised the prices, and then when it went back down, they didn't lower the prices. So this is what happens. You know. Dallo, I suggest you help these Thai people out as much as you can. Those in the weed industry would appreciate your business, even if it is for a friend. So, you know, Thailand is still a top destination. People still want to come here. And I've said it many times, you know, that Thailand is like the Teflon Don of travel tourist destinations. Somehow they just keep generating enough people. They keep drawing in enough tourists. And maybe that's because the market is unlimited. But I've seen recently where a lot of people are saying, I'm not going there because the price of tickets is too much. I'm not going there because not only is the price of the tickets prohibitively expensive, but also everything else has gone up in price, and I just don't want to deal with it. Okay, but Dowlow, let me tell you something. If you know, when Andy came, I took him to Happy Land, and we had a meal. That meal, I think it cost no more than 150 baht, and I think I got 3 dishes. I think I got 4 dishes. It was 200 baht. That's what it was. I got 4 dishes. I don't remember every dish. I know I got some khao khao mu, which is the braised pork leg, and I got some noodles and something else. It was 200 baht. It was like 4 dishes. He had a dish, I had a dish, and we shared 2 dishes. I believe that's what it broke down to. But in that same shopping center, in his shopping center, massage is 179 baht for an hour. Okay. If you're somebody like me, now I don't do it because I generally don't want a massage. I want a foot massage. I want a neck massage. I don't want anybody massaging my legs, and because I got a bad hip, I don't want them twisting me. I don't need that anymore. I don't want it anymore. It's just a personal thing. But I don't mind a good foot massage, you know, calf massage, and then a shoulder massage, which is where I tend to be tight anyway. Now, if you go to that particular establishment, and there are about 3 of them in that shopping center. Now, if you go to the Mall Bankabi, it's going to be 250, 300 baht an hour. But if you look around, you can find much better prices than 400 or 500 baht for an hour. You get 179 baht an hour. Now, if you buy one of the cards for like, I don't know what it is, 1,400 baht or something like that, they give you 10 massages, like +1 or +2, for like 14 or 1,500 baht. So you get a discount and they give you more massages. So that breaks it down. You're getting it for even less. My mother was asking me, why don't you get more massages? I'm like, I don't want any massages. You know, I don't want any other women touching me. And it's not because of the, I just don't want anybody touching me. You want to give me a neck massage? All right, I can deal with that. You want a foot massage? Okay. But when they start massaging my leg, and then I'm like, my hip. I told you my hip. Oh, my foot, my knee. I don't want to have to go through all that. And they laugh. I'm not laughing, of course, because I'm the one in pain, right? I don't want to have to deal with that. I hope Thailand never changes. It's a huge mistake. Foreigners complaining, trying to make Thailand more Western. Yeah, it's a big mistake. But it's inevitable because, just take a look at, say, the transportation system. The transportation system here used to be through canals. Now, they still use canals, but on a much less frequent basis. Well, in the States, it's 100. It can be anywhere from 50 or 75 bucks an hour to 100 bucks, 150 bucks, depending on where you are. I used to do business with some people, and one of them was a lady who was a masseuse, so I used to get free massages from her. And she was like your stereotypical type that you'd be like, wow, oh my God, she's gonna give a great massage, and she got, she was stacked, and she was a nice looking woman, and she gave a terrible massage, horrible. I'd get some old lady with little fat sausage fingers any day to give me a massage over some hot chick who just thinks because she's hot, that's going to give you a good massage. They all laugh at us. Don't get me started. I don't think they all laugh at us, but, that's a bit overkill. But I think there are some that do. So, you know, that whatever. Doesn't matter to me, you know. I mean, I've learned over the years. When I first came here, it would be, you know, you'd be walking around, and if you were walking around with a woman, and you know, especially if she was a woman who was dark of dark complexion, or if she was a working girl, and for whatever reason, the taxi drivers, the moto drivers could tell, and a lot of times they can. They would be chuckling, and I used to go, what are they chuckling for? And then, you know, when I realized that a lot of them are like, you know, this girl, she's so dark, I don't like. But then you realize that that's who they're married to. They're married to a dark girl. If you don't like them, what'd you marry them for? Because they were the only one you could get. Because a lot of the light-skinned Thai girls, they're not going to go with these guys. You know, they're moto drivers and stuff like that. That's not going to happen. You know. Now, maybe if they're in the same socioeconomic level, but, you know, $60 an hour and up here, not including the tip. Well, there you go. So what's the tip? What are you going to do? Tip them $10? Prefer the older women doing the massage. Yeah, if you just want a straight up massage, I'm not talking about you want the special massage, the happy ending or whatever. Go with the old ladies. You don't have to go to the what is it, I can't even remember right now, where the blind are, Wat Po. You don't have to go there. But get yourself some little, you know, short, stocky, you know, older woman who's got fingers that, you know, they look like big, fat, swollen sausages. And she'll give you the massage of your life, you know. So... anybody got any other, did I leave anything out? I mean, when I first started talking, I mean, it's been, before I had the YouTube channel, it's been about 15 years and I've been here almost 30, so really after about, I would say 10, 15 years, I started noticing some changes, and I was telling people, this place is changing, man. It's changing drastically. It's not going to be the same in a few years. And sure enough, like I said, even before I had the YouTube channel, the major changes had started, and they've just continued. Now, some of them have led to bigger and better things. One thing that I really, I was talking about this yesterday, and it's just a sign of the times, is the commercialism. Everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. And it's not only here, it's all around the world. Commercialism. It's just, everything's in your face. You get the upsell. And most of, like, if I was to go into Starbucks and talk to one of the girls and order some coffee or whatever, once in a great while they go, oh, now they know, but it used to be, oh, do you want a canom? You want a sandwich? You want something? And I'd be like, nah, I don't want it. They've always got upsell. I mean, it's good business, but it's gotten to the point where it's out of hand. So this is the thing. I would say commercialism, the mercenary nature of, from what I hear, and what my friends tell me, because I'm not anywhere near that. And that was another thing I was talking about to my buddy yesterday. We were talking about how it used to be, and how now, perhaps because we're older and we're more set in our ways, and you know, we have wives and families and all that kind of stuff, that it just doesn't, I don't have any interest in going to a nightclub or disco, or you know, and hear all the music and have to yell at somebody to talk to them. I just don't have the interest anymore. So if you take that away from Thailand, do you still want to come here? Is that something you are willing to do? If they were to say, you know what, we're shutting down everything, there's not going to be, yeah, there'll be nightclubs, but we're not going to allow this blatant prostitution. The beer bars are shut, the go-go's are shut, everything's shut. Are you still going to come to Thailand? Now, some people will. Would I leave because of it? No, of course. Oh, they let me in. They let me in, Gennaro. Come on. They might go, you're too old. You're too old. And let's face it, there are a lot of problems in Thailand that occur because of alcohol. I don't know about the drug issue. I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about the harder stuff. Uh, but alcohol is a major, major factor. And if you have a problem with alcohol back in the States or in Australia or wherever, and then you come over here and you can take the brakes off and you can do whatever you want, say whatever you want. You don't have to worry about maybe your girlfriend saying, why do you come home at 4 in the morning or something like that. I mean, this is a place that it'll either eat you up and you will become something that most people don't want to become. You'll become the barfly on the stool, like many guys there are a lot of them, all over the place, but Pattaya comes to mind. You got the stereotypical expat who every day he goes to the bar at 12 o'clock, he sits there until he's too drunk, and then he goes home, And if you don't want to live that life back home, why would you want to live it here? I don't know. I don't like the whole. For me, it's just something I've been there, done that. So it's not a real. That shouldn't put you off from coming to Thailand. If you got any game, if you are halfway smart, if you're halfway intelligent, if you have a half decent amount of money, you don't have to be filthy rich, and you're clean. You should be able to, if you're worried about women, you should be able to land yourself a woman or two. I know guys who are as old as Moses. I mean old. And they're not exactly, they're pretty grungy. Not that they're stinky or anything. Not that they're smelly or anything like that, but they're not the best looking guys or anything like that, but yet they got girlfriends. They got that. So that shouldn't be a concern. It shouldn't even factor in. But for a lot of people, it does. I guess that's my point. For a lot of people, it does. And they live for coming over here. And I've told the story before about the guy who used to go to this bar that my buddy knew the owner, and I knew him, but I didn't know him very well. And they had the same girls working there all the time, and they were older, a bit worn. And this guy, every time he came, he was at that bar every night. He was drunk off. They had to help him back to his hotel every single time. And one time, he got into a motorcycle accident, and he had like a big shoulder bag and another bag, and he was carrying it all on the motorcycle. He had an accident. He had to go to the hospital. He went straight from the hospital to the bar because he was missing his lady. And he's all bandaged up, still bleeding, and he's got his 2 bags that he can barely carry. That's how it can get here. So, this has nothing to do with the subject, but I just thought I'd bring it up here. Listen, if you don't mind, check out my website. Get yourself a shirt or something like that, a hat, a mug. Like I said, I'm working on the website, and I'm the one doing it, so it's slow going because sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. But the shop is still functioning, everything's functioning, and there'll be a lot of new information going up all about Thailand, and then I start working on the other countries, some of the countries that I've been through or that people go to. Cambodia comes to mind, Myanmar. So there will be some other stuff going up having to do with other countries, but it's going to be mainly about Thailand. But go to that place, that website, that place. Click on the thumbs up, subscribe, become a member of the channel. You can do so just hitting the join button down below. Everything's down below in the description. And, there'll be a lot of new information going up, having to do with other countries, some of the countries that I've been through or that people go to. Cambodia comes to mind, Myanmar. So there will be some other stuff going up having to do with other countries, but it's going to be mainly about Thailand. But go to that place, that website, Click on the thumbs up, subscribe, become a member of the channel. You can do so just hitting the join button down below. Everything's down below in the description. And Today and tomorrow I have to work on about 3 or 4 videos, and hopefully I'll get them all done, and then you'll start seeing some videos up, and I'll be streaming again, I believe on Sunday, but I'm not sure. I believe so. Depends on if there's a UFC fight on. You know, I don't think it's going to be the fight that I want to see, so that's okay. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, there was a time when, and I don't know how many of you really know just how it was back in the day. I know there's a couple of guys that I talk to on a regular basis. They don't always come into the stream, but I talk to them on a fairly regular basis. And they have been around since the late 60s, 70s, you know, 80s, longer than me. Let's see here. Thailand, despite all the negatives that I brought up, like I said, I'm not slamming Thailand. So remember that it is still a popular tourist destination. I don't think my comments are going to stop people from coming over here, but you never know. Many visitors still find it a wonderful place to visit and enjoy, and better really depends on various factors and individual perspectives. Some may argue that Thailand was better in the past due to its more authentic cultural experiences, cheaper cost of living, and lesser crowds. That's a big one. On the other hand, others may believe that Thailand is better now due to its improved infrastructure, better healthcare facilities, and wider range of entertainment options. Hey, whatever you want here, you can pretty much do it, get it, or whatever. You want a particular type of food, without a doubt you can find it. Ultimately, the answer of whether or not Thailand used to be better varies depending on one's personal experiences and preferences. So I hope I make myself clear about this. I'll be there in less than a month. The wife goes in 2 weeks. Wow. Well, you know, I have not felt that joy, Dowlow, in many years. I'm going to be back in Thailand because now it is home, you know. So maybe I am an immigrant. I don't know. By the strictest definition, I am not. But that's neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter. I still enjoy living here. And I, you know, the wife and I have talked about living in other countries, and we have talked at length. We've talked to the kids a little bit about it, but we've talked about it, we've thought about it, we've mulled it over. I've, like, you know, done some research and looked around, and the places that are of interest, I haven't been. So there's only one way to gather more information and that's on the ground, real-time experiences. And we do plan on doing that. We do plan on still going to the States, possibly Europe, possibly Ecuador. We do possibly. There is a good chance. Well, there is a chance that I will be going to Sankalburi in a couple of weeks. Mon Festival taking place. And the Mon Festival means bare knuckle boxing. It means all kinds of things. It means food. It means fun. And all around the beautiful man-made lake, reservoir, whatever. It's a nice place, Sankalburi. If you haven't been there before, Dallo, have you been there? I don't know if Andy, I don't think, is in here. Has anybody else? Has anybody here been to Sankalburi? Curious to know. I like hearing about the bars at Sukhumvit 1 under the underpass that were there years ago. Well, listen, I went to them when it was I went there when it was Buckskin Village, and I went there when it was Soy Zero. And to be honest, it wasn't a big deal. and I'm not just downplaying how good the place was or anything like that. It really was not all that great. It wasn't anything special. A lot of English teachers used to go there. A lot of the expats used to go there. Uh, and it was convenient. And the thing is, it was convenient for me because I lived there right across the street on Soi 1, Sukhumvit Soi 1. I lived there for quite some time. I never really went to Washington Square. That was farther down the road. But I could have easily went there on a daily basis. I could have easily went to, under the overpass there, whatever you want to call it, Buckskin Joe's. But I chose not to because it wasn't my scene. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it as much as, say, going to Nana or some of the bars up and down the street. It wasn't a big deal. It did tend to be cheap, which is why they did have, like they would have the 69 baht beer or whatever. That was Washington Square, Gennaro. I've gone there before, but I didn't go there very often because it just wasn't my hangout. Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't my scene, man. And listen, Clinton Plaza, demolished. For what? For a hotel. Washington Square, demolished. Buckskin Joe's or Soy Zero, no mo. A lot of places, they're gone now. So, now, I don't remember, what is it, Soy 5? Between Soy 5 and Soy 7, if you guys who watch on a regular basis remember, that was where I saw the girl with the red panties who, she felt the need to show me her panties and try to hang all over me and stuff. And there's a bunch of little pubs in there, and the last I looked, they weren't open. They're all there, but they're not open, or they weren't. They may be now, I don't know. Those kind of places are okay. You want to go have a beer, sit there with your buddy and have a chat, not be bothered. The same goes for, a beer garden. And, I've said this many times as well, but across from the beer garden, just a little bit down, there used to be a pool place. Gennaro, I'm not going there. And I don't really care. I don't care about any of those. I don't care about that stuff, dude. Come on. Neither do you. Let me just tell you something. You don't want her. You don't want no part of her. Not because she's not a good person or anything like that. That's all I'm going to say. Could be her, could be somebody else, but there are certain people in certain situations that I would say, Gennaro, you want no part of them. Now, you're talking about barista? Maybe it would work. There's no guarantees. But, at least you give it a whirl and you have a little fun. No, you don't. No, you don't. You think you do, but you don't. All right, listen. I got shut out the last stream, completely shut out on my last day, and I did. Let me see here. I gotta. No, the pool place was not Gulliver's. Okay, it was not Gulliver's. Believe me, it was like Bamboo Bar. Now Bamboo Bar has moved over to Soy. Soy, is it 2? Yeah. Soy. What am I thinking? Yeah, it's Soy 3. Is where the Bamboo Bar is, and it's a predominantly Middle Eastern place now, where before it wasn't. It was expats, Thais, Filipinos, and it started out, it was only like 1 or 2 pool tables, and it ended up having like 5. And they had a little salon next door where the girls would go and get cleaned up and, get their nails done and their hairs done and all that kind of stuff. And then there was a food court that had maybe 10 different little restaurants. So you could be in playing pool, sitting at the bar, having a beer, and you just tell one of the waitresses, honey, go get me some pad thai or whatever. It would be like 40 baht, 30 baht, right? So you go, here's 50 baht. Just keep the change. Keep the 20 baht, keep the 10 baht tip, whatever it is. Yes, Gennaro. That is the place. That was a big hangout a long time ago. I don't know how it is now, but from what I've seen, it's nothing like it used to be. It used to be just completely packed with people and girls, and it was I mean, you couldn't get a seat. I mean, it was, in fact, depending on where you were and what time it was, you may not be able to stand up. I mean, you'd have to go a little bit outside. You couldn't be near the bar because there were so many people. That's how it used to be. Now, like I said, I went there a couple of years ago just to pop in and see what it was like, and I was like, ugh, I got to get out of here. And everybody that I know is gone now. There used to be a guy that ran the place that I knew very well, and there were a couple girls that worked behind the counter for a long time that I got to know. And it was a good place, for everything is about the timing. If you're at a certain age and you have a certain mentality and you have, of course, Gennaro, come on. Venture? I lived in the place most of the time. What are you talking about? It was the place to go after hours. I mean, it was the place to go. Everybody went there. If things were closing up at 4 o'clock, you went to Terme. And then you'd see you see this dancer, you see, this girl from the beer bar or whatever. And you see new people. Well, I sit out in the courtyard at home and the ladies in the opposite. Oh, God. This is a topic. I know when you're young and you want to jump on everything that moves. And at least that's how I was, It's an exciting experience. It was always a coffee shop. That's the name of the place, Terme Coffee Shop. Originally, when it started out in the days of the Vietnam era, it was in a different location. But it was a very cool place. I mean, it was a shithole, but it was a cool place for a long time. Yeah, I mean, it was fun then. The thing is now is that the social media has taken over, and now, think about this. If some girl's a good-looking girl, she doesn't have to go work in some bar. She can just put herself on social media. She can work whenever she wants. She can do whatever she wants if that's how she wants to conduct herself. That's what kind of life she wants to have. You didn't have any of that. Now there's forums, there's websites, there's YouTube channels. There's too many YouTube channels about Thailand, in my opinion. I hear about, about this guy? I don't know about the guy. I don't care. I don't watch it. I don't watch myself. I got a hard time watching myself. Now my buddy sent me some film about some guy who went to Cambodia. And I've seen several of them like this. He fell in love with some Cambodian girl and it was a problem and blah, 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 blah. And it looked pretty good. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I watched the first 5 minutes and I just haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing since then. But that was back in the day. It was something that was, and when I read the letter in the video that I'm referring to, which actually, let me see if I can find it here. I should do that. I don't know why I had it open and I closed it for some reason. Let me see. All right, here it is. There we go. Okay, so this is the old video. This is the link to the old video. All right. And the guy was talking about how, you know, it was like Thailand was almost like a secret place. Now, it wasn't secret, but I understood what he meant. It was a place that guys would come and the word had not got out. I mean, people knew, but a lot of people didn't know. You know, granted, I mean, I came in the mid 90s, but in the 80s, the 70s, in the late 60s, I can only imagine what it was like. Same with Vietnam. At least, you know, during a certain period of time. Now, there's so much information about places that it's overkill. That's the only way I know how to. That's the only way I know how to say it. It's overkill. What I was going to say before, though, is I got shut out the last live stream. It happens, you know. But if you like this stream, you like the videos that I do, you like the streams that I do, and you want me to continue, you know, on a regular basis, trying to do things that are that make the channel better and inform you, then become a member of the channel, send a super chat, get a book, get one of my books, buy me a coffee, use the Cash App, become a sponsor, whatever it is, become a Patreon patron. Do whatever you feel. And if not, then keep watching. And if I get shut out twice in a row, say la vie. But I'd rather not. I did, for those who care, which I know there's not all that much interest, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm proud of myself. I beat last month's revenue by about 3.5%, which is not huge, but you know what? Like I said, anything that shows an improvement, I'll take it. So, okay, Thailand is a real developing country. You can notice the changes every time we visit. Yeah, if you you come out in my area, man, it's crazy. It really is it's so crazy now how much stuff has been done. Now, one thing I might do on Sunday, I think I will do this, is on Sunday, I'm going to go down to the Starbucks, the nearest Starbucks, which is down on 101. But prior to doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out at Lod Prow. You know, there's a market there. I don't know. I think the market is still there. There's a market there. I've walked by it before. I've, you know, streamed from there before. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out at that market, and I'm going to show the SkyTrain. I don't know if it's a monorail there. I guess it would still be the monorail all the way down to when it hits Ratchatapisek. And I'm going to walk down the street. I'm going to show you what it's like at that area, because I just saw a video released by the MRT about the yellow line, which is the line that's out here. It'd be much easier to get back and forth and get around. And while I don't particularly like the pollution or the traffic, hopefully it'll put an end to some of the traffic. And that'll make it easier to get around Bangkok. That would be fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that. I will be putting up that video shortly, the video from the MRT. And you'll see that there are several stops along the way. One's at Imperial World. Another one down by Ratchatapisek. So, you know, in that regard, you cannot deny that the transportation network here in Bangkok, at least, and also throughout Thailand, has gotten better. I just saw, what is this here? Yeah, the China-Laos Railway has so far transported 10.3 million passengers since its launch in December 2021. I did think about taking that. I wasn't sure. I thought to myself, well, if once I found out that my wife wasn't going to be in Vietnam at the same time as me, I thought maybe I'll take the railway down to Vientiane. I thought maybe I'll do that. And I just went, eh. But 10.3 million, the railway handled 8.7 million passenger trips for the China section, with daily passengers hitting 65,000. Meanwhile, 1.6 million passenger trips were logged in its Laos section, with the number of daily passengers reaching 8,800. The number of stations in Laos that can handle passenger service has increased from 7 in the initial period. The number of stations, that the passenger service has increased from 7 to the initial period, to 10. The passenger volume of the China-Laos Railway has continued to grow, and its service quality has greatly improved. The railway plays a positive role in providing convenient and efficient travel for the people of the two countries, said Zheng Bin, deputy station master of the Kunming railway station. It is expected to launch cross-border passenger trains on the China-Laos Railway this year to improve passenger and cargo transport of the railway. The railway connects Kunming in southwest China's Yunnan province with the Laotian capital Vientiane. It's 1,035 kilometers. A landmark project of high-quality Belt and Road cooperation started operating December 3rd of 2021. Now, unfortunately, I will never be going on that train. It's never going to happen. So, I'm not going to China. As I said, I was looking through my videos and I saw it's called The World is Watching. And it was made up of a lot of my photographs that I took while I was in Hong Kong. And I thought, I never want to go back there again. I don't want to see Hong Kong in its Chinese state, and I don't want to ever go into China again. Never, ever. I just don't. I've been there, done that. Okay, oh, great. I went for the Olympics. Oh, I'm so happy. And I am happy I got to do it. But there's no reason for me to go back. So, anyway, I don't know. We got anything else to go over here? Guys, girls? Anything else anybody wants to talk about? Today's been a slow day. Slow. Any other big news coming out yet? Let me see here. The big news out of Pattaya is the guy who was a YouTuber, and I don't know exactly what his deal was, but he was found dead on the 30th of January. Where is Sid? We're actually, Sid is a cat. And Sid is a pain in the ass. He is the sweetest little thing sometimes. And then sometimes he is just a maniac. My wife left. I let him go out in the yard. He likes to sniff around and do things. And then he heard a motorcycle. He comes running in. And he's just sitting here. He has a little food. And then he goes running upstairs, and he's running up and down the stairs, going up and down the stairs. And he's running into Alex's room. And Alex is asleep. Today is his day off. And, thank you very much, Mr. Fidelity Quester. Thank you very, very much. Hang on, what did he say? What was his message? I couldn't read it very well, but let me see here. Oh, okay. Yeah. It said something. Let me see here. I can't see it now. I think it said something to the effect. There was some. Oh, there we go. Okay. Wow. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. The message was something like 1 cup of coffee for each viewer, and there were 30 viewers. So thank you very much. Appreciate that, man. 2 in a row. That's a. It's been a long time since I've gone 2 in a row without getting one super chat or like somebody going, I'm gonna buy a shirt or whatever it is like that. Anyway, whatever, you know, it is what it is. I've come to expect these things. So yes, big thumbs up. Thank you very much there, Fidelity Quester. Appreciate that. The YouTuber, his name was Leo Rex, aka Leo and Longevity. Well, I don't know if longevity is the best is the best title for this guy's channel, but whatever. Unfortunately, he was found dead, and I believe, I don't know, but I believe it was under some suspicious circumstances. But you know, out of Pattaya, it always seems like there are some suspicious circumstances, and you know, sometimes they're completely unwarranted, other times they're not. Let me see something here. I'm gonna give you a little look here. Every title I see says well known. Now maybe it's because I really truly do not watch much of anything on Thailand, because I just feel like in my little bubble, I'm okay. I'm fine. I don't need to know certain things that maybe have absolutely nothing to do with my life. So I'm not going to spend my time doing them. Watching them. Apparently, he had built up a following through his unique takes on men's health matters, from bodybuilding techniques to nicotine. Leo and Longevity had over 130,000 subscribers. It's a pretty substantial count there. And his content typically offered non-conventional advice on how his followers can improve their mental and physical well-being. You don't want to come to me for anything mental, because I'm a mental case. You know, really. I mean, I live inside my head. The report claims that officials were alerted by Al-Ghaz's friend. His real name is Laith Abdallah Al-Ghaz. By his friend Charles Anthony Hughes, who had arrived at the property after unsuccessfully attempting to contact the YouTuber. At the time of the writing, no official cause of death has been given. The apartment was unusually messy upon arrival, and Al-Ghaz had suffered multiple facial injuries. An official investigation is underway into the cause of his death, with authorities urging the public not to jump to conclusions until a complete examination has been done. Yeah, I think that's a smart way to proceed. Thank you, Dallo. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Choke D to you. Choke D to Fidelity. You know, this is something that happens all the time. You know, somebody falls off a balcony, and I've said this recently, but somebody falls off a balcony, the balcony breaks, whatever it is, and he did a header, he's in the High Flyers Club, when really it had nothing to do with that. For all we know, this guy could have been, he could have fell down, he could have tripped and fell and smacked his face and bounced and back, hit his face again. I mean, you never know. Or he could have got punched in the face multiple times. You know, we don't know. So that's why I think it's good to just, you know, you speculate. That's enough. Beeson, thank you. How you doing, Beeson? Haven't seen all that much of you lately. Hopefully Carlos is all right. Beeson, hopefully you're all right. You're doing well. But this guy, you know, you got 130,000 people. He's a hell of a lot more well-known than I am. Even though I didn't know him, he probably doesn't know who I am. I don't know. Well, he doesn't know now, but at the time of writing, no official... Okay. See, the videos were often monologues presented to the camera by Algaz himself, though the late fitness enthusiast often joined in on podcast-style videos with similar lifestyle channels. In February of 2022, he expressed his gratitude for helping the Leo and Longevity channel to reach the coveted milestone of 100,000 subscribers. I'm trying to reach the coveted milestone of 15,000. So yeah, that's a good mark that he hit there. He was covering the controversial topic of penis enlargement, an act that is widely cautioned against by medical bodies. It should be noted that he was not a medical professional. Okay. Anyway, he was 34 years old, so damn shame. Yeah, I don't like to see this ever. Doesn't matter who it is. Whether I know them, don't know them, like them, don't like them, I think it's terrible what happened. R.I.P. Leo added another dejected fan. I'm stunned and can't process this. I can't believe it. It looked like things were turning out well. Thank you for the knowledge you gifted us over the years. You will be missed. Boy, I don't even want to say it. Excuse me. Hopefully, it's another 20, 30 years before I'm gone and I'll have been off of YouTube for a long time, and when my time comes, nobody will remember me. No. There will be no, it'll just be friends and family, and that's it. Thank you, Beeson, thank you. Busy with hunting and ice fishing. Oh, wow. I've always wanted to go ice fishing. I've went hunting before, but ice fishing, that's a different story. And thanks for, the website looks good, but I need to get the links squared away. I'm going to change the categories a little bit, and there's a few things I need to do. For some reason, the search function, I don't know, maybe if somebody could do something for me, if you go to the channel, on the right-hand side, I think it's next to where the ticker is, or above the ticker to the right, there's a little circle, which is the search function. If you click on that, it will open a little window. See if you can put your cursor in there and type something in, because I am unable to do that. And it could be some kind of a script error, and I'm waiting to find out how to fix it. But it's important for a number of reasons, one of which is because the site has a lot of extremely old information on it that is still on the site, and I can link to it. But without being able to find certain things, it's going to be tough, and I need to be able to categorize them, and anyway. That's why. So, now I'm looking at something here. This is on the Bangkok Post, and this is a worthy topic. Taxi scam concerns visitors the most. Survey results reveal tourist anxieties. Listen, I'm going to say one thing about these taxis. The vast majority are fairly good. They're not always the most friendly. Some of it might be a language thing. I don't know. And that's okay. They don't have to be extremely friendly. I don't need them to be, hello, my friend. Because if they're too friendly, then it's like, I got my headphones on for a reason. However, one thing that has bothered me is I can remember of 2 instances where I was at Suvarnabhumi and I went to the taxi stand where you get your little slip, and then you get your little slip, and then you go, and it says, like stall number 15, and then you go to 15, and the taxi's there waiting for you, and you get in. 2 instances where I got in, One of which was after I came back from Hong Kong once. Another one, I was traveling internationally somewhere. And the guy, he's like, 500 baht or something like that, 400 baht, whatever it was. He wanted me to pay a flat fare. And I go, dude, there's a reason why you're at the stall and why they have these things here. Because if I wanted, I could rat you out and say, you're trying to do this or you're trying to do that. And I don't do it very often because it's a hassle. But that's not cool. It's not cool to be telling somebody when you've got a fare, all you have to do is turn on the meter. Now, I told him, either you turn the meter on or you stop right now. And he turned the meter on. The other guy did the same thing. But that is not okay. So let me go on here. Overpriced taxi services are the leading complaint among foreign tourists, among the poor garbage management, along with, let me reread this. And I should say that stumbling over words that I'm trying to read quickly is not the same as being an idiot and not knowing the difference between one word and another and not doing your research and then figuring that color has something to do with it. I'm talking about the other day. And I'm talking about the jackass who always felt like writing with some snotty remark. There is a big difference. Because I stumble over words means I am not a great speaker. It does not mean I'm stupid. And also, it means I need to slow down. That's what it means. All right, so let's just not get it twisted there, pally. Overpriced taxi services are the leading complaint among foreign tourists, along with poor garbage management and facilitation at the airport, according to the Tourism Council of Thailand. Now, I don't know about any garbage management there. I haven't noticed that. Their quarterly survey, which polled 200 Western tourists in Thailand during the final quarter of 2022, showed satisfaction with taxi services received the lowest score of 3.5 out of 5, with tourists indicating this is the most critical problem that should be solved immediately. Wow, so taxi service was the most criticized aspect of this survey. Wow. The survey of tourists in Bangkok found they were not satisfied with what they deemed to be unfair treatment, as taxi drivers often only take passengers who agreed to pay a fare without using the meter, which means drivers can arbitrarily charge higher prices for their service. And I'm going to say this again. I don't care what kind of... Most of the time, if you're a tourist, you're not in a hurry. Most of the time, you're not in a hurry. Your friend who's waiting for you to have dinner with him, or your girl, is going to understand if you say, I couldn't get a taxi. And if they don't understand, well, that's just too bad. But most people, especially if you're a tourist, if you're an expat and you've got a job, you have to be there at 8 o'clock and you're always late, and then you're going to run late again. And okay, I understand you might have to do certain things, but you would know that by now. You would be aware of this. Do not get in a taxi and just go, oh, I don't care, I'll just give it to them because I want to give them extra money. No, because it sets a bad precedent. If you say to them, no, I'm not going to pay that, turn the meter on, and they go, oh, no, okay, bye, get out, just go, get another one. Call a Grab. You want to pay more money, call a Grab. Call Bolt, call InDriver. TCT President Chamnan Srisawat said the government can help provide solutions to this problem by cooperating with private taxi firms to offer a different type of taxi service with a distinct label or sign, such as a white-colored taxi, to guarantee the fares are based on the driver's meters. It's the law. What do you got to put a white label on it? Listen, I told you guys this the other day. I was in a taxi coming back home, and the meter was going extremely fast, man. I was like, this guy's been tampering with the meter, or his meter needs to be adjusted or something, because there's no way that I need to pay that much for this short period of time. And I know what I usually pay, and I know about how long it takes me. So, you learn these things, and then when you see, like, what am I going to say to the guy? I'm going to get into an argument with him because I'm paying an extra 20 baht because the meter is, something's wrong with the meter? No. Don't do that. Don't get into a fight. Don't get into an argument. Don't get into that. Just take the number down, report them. He said if the distinct taxis become popular among tourists, they could compete. I gotta slow down. With traditional taxis, as tourists would only seek this service. No, they wouldn't. They would also take Grab and Bolt and InDriver, which is why they don't care about this stuff. How about you make the drivers adhere to the law? And if they don't, make an app that actually works so that you can report them very easily. You take a photo, and all you have to do, turn the sound down on your phone. When you get in, you take a photo. The guy doesn't hear you take a photo. If anything ever happens, the guy does something to you, you got the information right there, and that's it. His goose is cooked. So, let's see what else it says here. Another concern for tourists from Europe and the U.S. is the entry process at the airport upon arrival, which received a score of 3.45 out of 5. I don't know why that's a concern, unless it has to do with the visa. Other than that, and maybe, there being a lot of people, but they really do go through the lines very, very quickly. They also highlighted the problems of litter at many popular tourist sites. Okay, so they weren't just talking about the airport. And air pollution from hazardous PM 2.5 fine particle matter. In response to these concerns, the TCT on Monday urged the government to increase its budget for the 10 most popular tourism provinces, stepping up natural resource preservation schemes and increasing the capacity for garbage disposal, especially on the islands. Good luck with that. I hope it works. I hope they get it squared away, because this is why people keep coming back, is because of their natural resources and because of the culture and the generally very friendly people. That's why people keep coming back here. That's why the tourists come. That, and, of course, there's other reasons, but, the nightlife, we'll say. Now, here we go. The council suggested limiting the capacity at some popular attractions to avoid overcrowding, which could help maintain a positive perception regarding Thai tourism. Not only that, it could help the environment, which they've done at the, Maya Bay. The survey found 50% of respondents had traveled to Thailand before. Some 98% were traveling for leisure purposes, with 93% choosing Bangkok and 50% Phuket as their travel destination. Tourists from the U.S. spent an average of 2,000 to 3,000 baht on accommodation per night, with a length of stay of 14 to 15 days per trip. Together with other expenses, their spending in Thailand averaged 96,269 baht per person. Wow. So they're spending anywhere from $150 to $200 a day. Which is what I used to do. I mean, when I came, when I came as a tourist, I would spend no less than $100 a day. And I would spend anywhere from $150 to $200, depending on how flush I was. So, there you go. Those are some of the concerns. Meanwhile, most European tourists chose a room priced between 1,000 to 2,000 baht per night, staying in Thailand 12 to 13 days on average, while spending an average of 88,661 baht in total on their trip. Now, I'd like to know something. Some of you guys that come over here are tourists. How much do you spend, and how long do you stay? Well, how long do you stay, first of all, and how much do you spend? What's your average? Do you have a budget where you say, okay, this is what I'm going to spend? Because I know for me that I didn't want it to be, I really didn't want it to be $100 a day. I wanted it to be $150 a day as a tourist, and I was gold. I was golden. I'd have a lot of fun. I traveled around, and if I was, there was a couple times when I came, and I had more money than usual, and I stayed like 2 weeks, and the one time was like 2 weeks, and I spent about $200 a day. So, you know, I don't know what people are going to spend this year when they come, but we will find out in due time. We always do. Now, something else real quick, and then we got to get out of here. Uh, there's a new law on the books from our favorite Thai politician, Anutin Charnvirakul. And in this case, I think it's not a bad law. The Ministry of Public Health's Committee on Drug Rehabilitation will proceed to amend a ministerial regulation and charge anyone who is found in possession of more than one tablet of a methamphetamine pill with the offense of dealing in illegal narcotics. Wow. The move comes after Public Health Minister Anutin Charnvirakul said on Sunday the ministry would be revising the law and taking legal action against any wrongdoers. The committee's investigation shone a light on the extent of the meth problem in the nation and concluded measures had to be stepped up to keep it under control. The committee will amend the regulation today, send it out for my signature. The new law will take effect after it is announced in the Royal Gazette. So he seems to think that it's as good as a done deal. It will be up to the police to enforce the law, and they will decide whether suspects are treated as drug users or drug dealers based on the evidence at hand and their own discretion. Why do they have discretion? I don't get that. Not to be argumentative, but I don't get it. If he's saying if you have more than one, then you are a dealer, then why do they have any discretion? If you've got 5 pills in your pocket, and the guy goes, "No, these aren't mine," and these aren't mine, they're my friends, but I'm not selling them. I'm not a dealer. I mean, where is I thought a law is supposed to be a law, but what do I know? I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not a medical professional or a lawyer. He further noted the committee would look into details of how to provide effective medical treatment for drug addicts based on the logic that their numbers are likely to swell quickly once the law takes effect. Well, I don't know that they should throw the book away at the guys. They got 2 pills, and I don't know about that, but I do think it is a problem they need to address. Meanwhile, Dr. Amporn Benjapun, oh man, sometimes these words are difficult for me to say, their names. Amporn Benjapun Pitak, chief of the Department of Mental Health, said the number of addicts is rising due to the cheaper price of speed pills on the black market. There are now around 800,000 patients registered as methamphetamine addicts receiving medical treatment, she said. Unfortunately, the problem is that 1/3 of them have dropped out of the program. Wow. That's sad. That's just sad. Buenos dias, Mr. Andy. We'll be there for a month. I'll spend about 3,000-4,000. Now, is that Aussie dollars, Dallo? See, but you're a little bit of in a different situation. With the reason being that you are a part-timer here. I mean, even if you come twice a year, you've got a place here. So you are, you're a part-timer. Let me see something here. And I would expect you as a part-timer actually to spend a little bit less than your average tourist. I mean, you're coming kind of as a part-timer / tourist. So that's around 93,000 baht for a month. Yeah, that's about 3,000 baht a day or a little bit less. So that's pretty good. Hey there, why is this thing not charging? Hey there, fire dude. One second. We don't have to pay for accommodation, but the wife is always doing stuff around the house. I'll spend 3,000 more or more on my next trip. Now, that's for a month or how long, Andy? And that's you traveling all around. So that's pretty good. You know. Now, you know, we've been looking at places in the past couple of months. I don't always tell you guys, but we have been looking at places. And quite honestly, as old and kind of, it's not designed the way that we the way that we would want. I mean, we got like this old wood paneling, and it's all like breaking up now, and Sid has been trying to scratch it down, and this is our home. It feels like home. And we've been here so long now that yeah, we've been here so long now that I mean, you know, we just are very comfortable here. And so we look at a place. I mean, we looked at a couple condos. None of the condos were something special. When all the condos, we were like, why would we move into a place like this, or why would we want this place other than as an investment, which that's not going to happen because we don't think it's a great investment. And we also, you know, if we could do something where once Alex has a job and he's set, and he could help, he could pay for, say, some of the money that it would cost to have the place. Okay, then fine. That's in a sense, that's an investment. But as far as us, we want to move somewhere, but we're like, well, if we stay here in this area, we know the area. It's very nice, very comfortable. They are cleaning it up. They are making it better. The mall is... I'm going to do a little video. I don't know how I'm going to do it or anything like that, but I shot it yesterday. There's a lot of things going on now. They have moved all kinds of things from inside the mall. I'll give you an example. Inside of the grocery store, they have an area where it's all for pets, food, you know, bowls, cat scratching poles, and you know, all kinds of stuff. You know, collars and everything like that. It's gone. The cologne area, gone. The perfume area for the women, the cosmetics, gone. It's all gone. They've just either shut it down or they've moved some. And actually, you can't get into the Burger King now from the inside or the outside, and you can't get into Starbucks. Starbucks is closed. Burger King's closed. Everything's closed. So they're really trying to make it better. Now, I don't know how much it's going to be. Is it going to be an upgrade, or is it just going to look nicer? Is it going to be a little bigger? Is it going to be more convenient because the SkyTrain, the monorail, the MRT will be completed shortly, and it will be easier for people to get in and out that are driving? I don't know how it's going to work, but man, it is just in disarray. And I kind of feel... I'll tell you something. I had to go yesterday to get some groceries. Because I'm always going to the grocery store. I'm always, you know, oh, I don't have this ingredient. Oh, I don't have that ingredient. And so I go. You know, every day, every other day, I go to the grocery. Sometimes I go to the market and I just get some vegetables or whatever. Sometimes I go to the mall. Well, if you go to the mall... the whole left side of the mall is closed, so you can't even go there. So you can only go in the middle. That's the only place. There's the left entrance and the entrance that's in the middle, and then there's a right entrance. You can go in the middle entrance and the right entrance. In the morning, though, McDonald's is open, and I could go. McDonald's could be my streaming area if I wanted it. I don't really want to stream from McDonald's. No offense to McDonald's, but I don't want to be there. I certainly don't want to eat there, and I don't want to drink their coffee there. If you remember, and I think I just said something Um, I went into McDonald's, got a cappuccino once. I decided to get a cappuccino instead of an espresso. And I took the top off, and there were cockroach legs in the foam. And then I was like, I'm never going to eat or drink here again. That food court we went to, is it still there? Yes, it is still there. It's alive and kicking, but I rarely eat there now because I'm not eating rice, I'm not eating noodles, I'm not having things with sugar in it, and so it makes it a little bit tough. But for the most part, I eat at home. And like when we went to Chiang Mai, I just basically had to order and say, can you just, like I went to one place that was they served burgers and pizza and stuff like that. I said, listen, how about you make me a burger with no bun? You don't have to give me the bun. And the guy discounted the burgers. And I would get like 2 or 3 of them. And they would have cheese and tomato and lettuce and that stuff. And then that was how I would eat. I ate there a couple of times. And so I would find a place and I would do stuff like that. I don't, when you're at home, it's very easy. So that's why I've been going to the grocery a lot more and not eating at the food court, which they got great food there. There's good food. I do miss some of the Thai food. I miss the khao kluk kapi, which is a shrimp paste on top of pork with a sauce and all that stuff. And I miss the khao khao mu that we had, Andy. I miss, pad thai. I miss all that stuff. I miss it. I do feel like, wow, I would like to have that, but I don't do it because I don't want to go off of what I'm doing. I want to be disciplined about it. I want to stick to it. So, all right, where are we for time? Oh, we got a couple of minutes left here. What is this? What is this I'm looking at? Is there anything good? I gotta say something. I saw this recent video in the U.S. of the police officers. And I see a lot of them. People send them to me all the time. I see them all the time. And I don't really want to watch them. Hey, thanks, Andy. Thank you very much. Next coffee. All right. Well, I'm going to be, I believe on Sunday, I will be down at the Starbucks, the nearest Starbucks. And I will be, I'm not going to walk the whole way because it's a long way. And unless it's really cool, I may walk. Be a good walk. But I may go down and take a motorcycle or something like that, and I just may walk from La Prop because I want to see how it's progressed in that area, and then I'll show you guys. I'll bring my gimbal, of course, and go down to Starbucks. So, but let me see this here, what I'm looking at, because there was something that. If I can find it now. Yeah, I don't know what I was going to talk about now. I'm trying to think. I'm blanking out. Couldn't have been that important. The keto stuff. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, it really makes you aware of what's in your food. Check the amount of carbs and sugar. Well, and sometimes the problem here is that the English version is there, and then there's a label in Thai that's there, and it tends to be very, very small writing. So I have to get my glasses on, I have to look at it, I have to really check. But most of the time I already know, because I eat almost the same thing every day. I just change a few things around. And I got to give thanks to Carnival Chronicles for this. And, I don't know that I heard that the carnivore diet was also called the lion diet. I don't know. It doesn't really matter what it's called. Just like, immigrant and expat. And I just saw a thing in the New York Times from 8 years ago now that said, is the word expat considered racist? And no, it is not. Okay? Bottom line. But it's just the same thing with me. All I know is I want to cut out the carbs and I want to cut out the sugar. I don't want sugar and I don't want carbs. And as long as I keep doing that, I'm fine. I I don't want to eat a lot. I don't want to eat starchy foods like potatoes and gnocchi, which I love, and rice and noodles and all that other stuff. It just, and I'm doing pretty good, so, I feel better. I think if you just cut out processed foods, that's a big start, man. And I haven't really cared enough to like actually say I'm gonna implement this plan. I haven't cared all that much. I've been like, well, I'm okay, but for whatever reason, I thought, nah, you know what? I'm getting older, and what happens is, if you have something wrong with you, let's say, you're 20, 30 pounds overweight, and you're 25 years old, you think, I'm fine. But by the time you hit 35 or 40, that extra weight starts making a difference. So I figure I'm 60. By the time I'm 70, I don't want there to be another problem because of this. So, do you like Amazon coffee? And there's it's Cafe Amazon, actually, is what it's called. But yeah, I used to go there quite a bit. There's how many? There's 2 in the mall. However, you cannot get to them before the mall opens, which is 11 o'clock on the weekdays. There's one right down the street from my house. It's right now where we ate, actually. I don't particularly like the way the owner treats her staff there. And also, it's a really small place, so it's not the greatest place for me to like. If I was to go there and just have a coffee, that's not a big deal. But if I was to go there and have a coffee and then like stream in there, I've done it before, but I don't really want to do it there. And that's part of the issue. There are places to go. It's just a matter. And there's an Amazon, actually, now I'm thinking about it. When you come out of my village, there's another one down the street in the opposite direction. And I've started streaming from there. But again, the place is too small. Paleo diet. Well, yeah, I mean, all these diets. I think you need to be able to do something that is easy and that you can continue to do. And for me, it's been very easy. Which is that's saying something. I've always been like, well, I haven't had dessert in a week. I'll just have this one big piece of coconut pie or whatever it is. And in the meantime, I had a croissant for breakfast. I mean, like, it's not okay, for me. You want to do it, go for it. Have fun. I understand the allure. I love food that's not good for you. I will say I had some 90% chocolate, a couple of squares of 90% chocolate the other day. And I was very surprised to know that there is very little sugar in that. And that, yeah, I mean, No, I like that their coffee is just as good as Starbucks, I guess. And they're okay. They're fine. But they're nowhere near as comfortable as, say, Starbucks. And I don't want to go to the one that's near my house because they're too small. And also the one because of the way the lady treats screaming at the staff and that kind of stuff. I don't want to be there when that's going down, It's just not... It's not conducive to a good stream, but it's not conducive to me sitting there having a coffee, zoning out in my own world. So, Anyway... I'm sure I'll work it out, though, because I definitely do not want to go to the Starbucks that is the next closest to my house, because it's not all that close. If I walk, it's a long walk. You're talking about an hour. It's an hour-long walk to get there. So I don't want to go there all the time, Maybe I'll stream in my office. Maybe there is a place that I want to go that I've been thinking about. The Segafredo coffee shop is quite far away. It's at Crystal Designs. I think it's Crystal Park. I always get them mixed up, but There's Crystal Park, Crystal Design Center. They have a place that serves illy. They have a place that serves Segafredo. I like Segafredo quite a bit. I like Lavazza. I like all those. So, you know, I'll get creative. Anyway, thank you to everybody who has come in. Like I said, I believe I will be streaming on Sunday. For whatever reason, if not, I'll either stream on Monday or maybe Saturday, but I don't think I'll stream on Saturday. I don't want to stream too much. And I will have a video going up Saturday morning. And I've been telling you guys I'm going to put up some members videos. And two of them are, one of them is of a condo. One of them is of a townhouse. And the other one is, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Blanked out. And then I have the Chiang Mai videos going up. So I got a lot of stuff. I got too much stuff to edit. I wish I could just like pass it off to somebody and go, edit this stuff for me. Get it all done. Here you go. Here you go, Chief. Get it done. But it's not going to happen. So anyway, thank you very much, guys. Like I said, I may be going, I'm actually waiting for the woman to call me back about the rooms that in Sangkhlaburi. She needs to call me back sometime today and let me know if they're available or not. But it could be a lot of fun, and I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I'll be able to stream at least once. But I don't know that I'll be able to stream any of the fights because they're later in the afternoon and most people are going to be asleep. But I will shoot video should I go, and I will stream in the morning. There's a lot to see in this place, and you guys who have been around in this stream and in the chat for a long time, you know Sangkhlaburi is a pretty cool place. It's past Kanchanaburi. I may spend a night there. I don't know. It really depends. I haven't really figured it all out because I'm waiting for this lady, and I finally found out the information about the Mon Festival, and I'm pretty confident in it. And, you know, it's a festival, and it's not your usual festival with, you know, people walking around in bright colors and feathers and, you know, playing all kinds of music, although there will be a little bit of music there. So, and I haven't been there. It's been about 5 years. It's been about 5 years since I've been to Sangkhlaburi, so it'll be good to get back. Anyway, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you when I see you. Until next time, I'm Scott. I am an American in Bangkok, American in Thailand. Choke D Leo Jerken Mai. I don't know how far it is, but yeah, that sounds about right. I can do it two ways. I can take the train. There's multiple ways, but there's two ways that I'm thinking of. One is to take a train from Thonburi Station, go to Kanchanaburi, spend a night, and take a minivan and go to Sangkhlaburi. Or I could just take a minivan all the way to Sangkhlaburi. So I got to figure it out. But like I said, I got a couple of weeks. This is a couple weeks off. You know, I got to make sure all my ducks are in a row. And hopefully it'll take place. Hopefully, you know, one of the problems, before I go, one of the problems that I've had in the past is that I've tried to stream, I've tried to shoot video, I've tried to take photos all at the same time. It's nice to take the photos, but, you know, I can do that at any time when I'm not streaming, or I can do it between videos, right? If I'm carrying all kinds of gear, it makes it a bit difficult, but if I just stream, then it makes it very easy. Or I just shoot video. I don't say, oh, I've got to get there and shoot video, and I've got to stream too, and then afterwards I'm going to shoot video, and no, it's not going to work that way. And I think it will work out better because they have some wild fights. I mean, crazy guys. It's none of this, you know, 1, 2, you know, hook. You don't see a lot of that. You don't see guys doing that. It's wild, crazy. People are going for broke. They just go for broke and are you know, they jump up and try to knee each other in the face and run from across the room and try to elbow guy on top of the head. I mean, it gets just gnarly. So it might be interesting as video. As a stream, I think I'll run into the same problems that I ran into the last time. Perhaps it depends on the heat, because it gets hotter in the afternoon, and it was too hot the last time, and the phone kept shutting off, so we don't want that. Anyway, I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later, okay? Thanks for joining me, and see you probably Sunday.